So this is the third in the series that I've created, and this is all about amplifying your mood. So for anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Kate Eason and my business is Food Defined. I'm very passionate about real, honest, true health, and I believe it's completely achievable to create a level of health for yourself that benefits you in all areas and continues to improve as you move along. Once you have an understanding of how your body operates, which is one of the reasons why I like to do these types of education sessions, just to give you a bit more insight into how your body is operating so that you actually create a better relationship with yourself. So we are going to be talking about your mood tonight, a few different areas of increasing mood, increasing happiness, what to do with your food and how the brain operates in this space. Sorry about the screen. I'm not sure what's going on there tonight. It's being a bit strange. Welcome to everyone who's just joined. Thank you for being here. I'm going to bring up our little presentation now. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about, again, why I've created these webinars. This year, 2020, has been massive in so many areas for everyone. Some people have excelled and thrived. Some people are struggling. So people who have been locked down in Melbourne, obviously they would be in the struggling category. And I just wanted to create these to give something back and to help anyone who needs any help in increasing their vitality and getting their bounce back. So it's spring and it's time to jump into feeling great. We all have the right to feel great. Okay. Okay, so webinar number 3, amplify your mood. I'll just put this across here. So just in terms of the last 2 webinars that I've presented, I wanted to touch base and keep you accountable a little bit for what the information that we went through in those webinars. So I wanted to ask you, what have you noticed about your energy in the last 2 weeks? What has changed? Has it increased? Have you implemented those tasks that we went through? Have you noticed any type of difference in your energy? Feel free to comment. We will keep the questions until the end because there's a lot of information to get through as usual. I'll be rifling through it like I do. But yeah, please comment. I'd love to hear what you have to say about what you've noticed about your health. Have you noticed that your sleep is changing in any way? Have you taken the steps that we spoke about to try and improve the way that you sleep and improve the quality of your sleep? Is it possible that your digestion is operating differently? Have you noticed anything with the way that your body is digesting and metabolizing, either positive or negative, hopefully positive? Pay attention to these things. These are clues that your body is operating in a different way. So your body will tell you what's going on. And do you think you're ready to make big changes? So we've just done a bit of an introduction. So I just want you to think about the tasks that I've given you, and if you think you're ready to actually make these changes for the long term, what is in your way? So if you're not making these changes, if you haven't stepped into the tasks, what is in your way? And are they just excuses? So have a real think about that and get honest with yourself because now's the time to do it. 2020 is the year of change. It is the year to just push us out of our comfort zones and to challenge us and help us transform into a different version of ourselves. Think about yourself in January this year. Are you the same person? Possibly not. And are you interacting with people who act in a positive and motivating way? So what have these webinars done for your perspective? And what have you noticed in terms of your circle? What level of vitality do you want to have? It's really important to start asking yourself these questions. Just going to move that across. So, what prevents us from feeling happy? By the way, guys, I'm not a psychologist. I can offer you help from a psychologist that I have worked with before. So if you need help on a deeper level for ongoing issues or serious matters, then I can absolutely refer you on to the right people. A lot of this comes from my research, but also from my own experience. So what prevents us from feeling happy? Our beliefs. So what you believe about yourself, what beliefs you have grown up with, and what beliefs have been thrust upon you from other people will have an impact on your happiness. So some of the things that you believe, they may not actually be true. So have a little delve into that space. Are they just beliefs, or is it actually true? Your circumstances and situations. So that will come from things like being locked down for 3 months. Your circumstances are going to challenge you in terms of your happiness in something like that. Circumstances could also be where you're living, who you're living with, the relationship you're in, the job that you're in. Also trauma, pain, and grief, of course. So there has been, how do you put it? Unimaginable trauma and pain and grief that some people have been through in their lives. And obviously that's going to impact the mood and the behavior and the happiness of someone. So stress, anxiety, and constant worry will definitely affect everything. Stress would come from obviously something like what's happened this year with massive changes in our lives, and also the collective fear and anxiety that's coming out of COVID-19 and what that's doing to our livelihoods and to our income and affecting every area of our lives. Constant worry, that is possibly something that's not new for you. But it's all of that is going to affect your adrenals. So if you've got high stress for a long period of time, then the adrenals being fatigued and run down is going to affect your overall mood. Poor diet and not enough fresh food, of course. I've spoken about that in the last 2 webinars. The importance of your diet is at the top of my list. You cannot get away with eating processed and refined food and stay well. If you don't eat fresh, whole foods ongoing, you will become, I believe your body will become so unbalanced that you'll have some kind of illness or disorder occur down the track in later life. So have a think about how you want to feel in 10 years. Where do you want to be? Is it worth not changing your habits just at the moment? Lack of exercise. So we all know that exercise is one of the best antidepressants you can get. So lack of physical movement. Obviously, if you're locked down in your house, you can actually still do exercise in your house, but you need the motivation and inspiration to do it. And obviously training with other people also helps as well, which maybe some people haven't been able to do. But you're also in lockdown, you've been able to get out of the house, I imagine, for at least an hour a day. Too much alcohol and caffeine, that's really going to affect your energy levels. It's going to affect your gut health, and it will affect your mood through the day. Alcohol will affect your sleep as well, so will caffeine. So procrastination, when you are putting things to the side constantly because you've got no motivation, you're tired and you're feeling low, that's definitely something that people do when they're depressed. I remember doing that a lot. And you're not being kept accountable for anything. There's no one there to kick you up the bum when you haven't done anything, especially if you're in lockdown at home, or if you've been working from home, you don't have as much accountability. But when someone keeps you accountable, you are much more likely to get stuff done and feel like you've achieved something. So taking action is really important in that situation. Loneliness, so being on your own, being single for a long period of time can often create unhappiness in your life, but it really does depend on what angle you look at it from. Loneliness from being locked down as well will possibly prevent happiness. Mental thoughts and chatter, this is a big one, and I think I may have touched on this in another webinar. So that was one of the big areas that I realized when I was really depressed, that what I was telling myself was so negative, and it just put this, wheel of depression and anxiety and low mood constantly through the day, each day. Lack of sleep and blue light exposure. We spoke about sleep last week. I'd love to hear any feedback on what's been happening for you this week. And one thing I didn't say about sleep was the position that you sleep in. I forgot to add this on. So sleeping on your back or your side is way better than sleeping on your stomach with your arm up over your pillow. Any chiropractor will tell you that sleeping on your side with your knee up towards you is definitely not good for your structural health. So sleeping on your back or your side, either side, is so much better for your sleep and for your body. Your environment or your circle. So who are you surrounding yourself with? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they a bit of both? Are there people in your life that are having an effect on you in that way? Sorry, one second. I can't get out to that comment that someone has just made. I'm sorry. Yeah, so your environment, who you surround yourself with, and what type of activities you surround yourself with are very important for your happiness. Lack of gratitude, one of the biggest ones. If you're not grateful for everything you have, I was thinking about it today, like the world that we live in offers us so much and too much. We've forgotten, you know, we've in our lifetimes, we have been given so much in terms of technology, just housing, education. Everyone should be educated. Everyone should have the right to education. And you guys do have a lot to be grateful for. If you're on this webinar, you've got the ability to have a computer at home and to log into Zoom and to listen to this. So it's pretty amazing. And little things like that every single day, it's good to look for things to be grateful for. If you're stuck in a place of comfort, which means that you're sitting in possibly boredom, possibly something that in a life that's not challenging you, and it might just be that you're sitting in that because you can't be bothered to do anything else at the moment. So I would say that contributes to your happiness as well. Boredom as well. You might have been a little bit bored whilst you were locked down, and yeah, we can all sympathize with you for the last 3 months, and it continues. So hopefully, I think it's on the 19th that you guys will be free. Fingers crossed for you. I hope that happens. And then pre-existing physiological illness or chronic pain. This is a big one. So people with heart disease or diabetes or some kind of chronic pain. I know that my mum had a frozen shoulder. She actually had 2, but that was chronic pain for a good 6 months, and that really had an impact on her mental health as well. So being in pain for a very long time daily can absolutely affect your happiness, of course. Okay, so let's look at your physical health and your mental health. This area is huge. Massive amounts of research and education has been done over the last 15 years on this area, on this topic, and still we don't have all the answers yet. But we're talking about the gut-brain axis. So what happens with the microbiota in your gut? So it's the good and bad bacteria and their relationship. So the gut-brain axis is affecting emotional behavior and stress and pain modulation systems and brain neurotransmitter systems. So what happens in your gut affects what happens in your brain every single day. The endocrine and neurocrine pathways may be involved. So neurocrine is endocrine influence of nerves, or the influence of nerves on the endocrine tissue. Irritable bowel syndrome, autism, anxiety, depression, Parkinson's, and mood disorders have all been studied for their gut-brain axis impact on the body. Very interesting area, and it's one that I've done a few webinars on or seminars on before, and it's that could be a whole webinar on its own as well. Poor digestion, so that will come from the gut-brain relationship. The imbalance of good and bad bacteria. So if, for example, you're having lots of sugar is going to feed the bad guys, which prevents the good bacteria from staying strong and healthy. Alcohol depletes the good bacteria. Stress depletes the good bacteria. Antibiotics deplete the good bacteria. So does junk food. Decreased production of serotonin. Most of your serotonin is made in the gut, and the serotonin, if you were on last week's webinar, is a precursor to melatonin. So melatonin helps you sleep. If you're not producing enough serotonin, you're not producing enough melatonin. Serotonin is your happy hormone. So there's lots of contributing factors to the production of serotonin. I spoke a little bit about proteins in last week's webinar, which I'll speak about again today. So dehydration puts pressure on the body. I spoke about that in the first webinar. So if you're constantly dehydrated, you're probably tired. If you're tired, your mental health probably isn't as strong. So being fully hydrated as often as possible is extremely important for your mental health. That pressure on the body constantly is pulling you down. It's pulling your vibration down. A lack of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients on a daily basis. So we're talking getting vegetables in at breakfast, lunch, and dinner with protein, with fats, all whole foods every single day. And look, that might seem like it's a far cry for you right now, but it's something that if you start to work towards, you will then feel what it feels like to eat like that, and you will start to feel better. Your energy will increase. And so those vitamins and minerals are feeding every single organ and every single system in your body. So if you're not getting enough of them on a daily basis, those organs and systems just will not be functioning effectively. Lack of good quality proteins daily. So as I said, that's going to impact your serotonin levels and also your sleep, but it also impacts your blood sugar regulation. So if you're having lots of high carbohydrate foods, snacks and meals that are, refined or processed, or even if they're not refined or processed but high carb, then your blood sugar regulation will be up and down throughout the day, which really affects your mood. Hypoglycemia is low blood sugar, and two of the major symptoms of hypoglycemia are nervousness and anxiety. I think I might have a reference to that down below. Not enough food each day. So when you're not eating enough, your energy levels will drop and you will feel really lethargic. So eating enough food each day is imperative. I suggest eating 5 meals a day. I'll get to that at the end. But 5 small meals a day, or 3 large meals a day and 2 small snacks. So high sugar meals and snacks, same type of thing that I was talking about with the blood sugar regulation. That's going to spike you up and spike you back down again throughout the day, so that you're going to be again looking for high GI foods or refined carbohydrate foods that bring you up. So does coffee. So just be aware of how you're preparing your day and how you're setting yourself up for possible failure by not paying attention to your snacks in between. Processed foods don't have enough nutrients in them, simple as that. They need to go. And toxins. So toxins in your world is having a massive impact on your mental health. They are affecting your gut health, and they are everywhere. So they're in your food, they're in the air, they're in the water that we drink, they're in the products that we put on our skin, and they're in the products that you use at home to clean things and etc. So toxins are everywhere, and I continue to forge through to create a very toxin-free life for myself, both with my food and with my general health. So any single nutrient deficiency can alter brain function. Just remember that. So you need to get a variety of these vitamins and minerals and nutrients on a daily basis. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the reticular activating system. So this is a bundle of nerves at our brain stem that filters out unnecessary information. So it's kind of sifting through the important and not important information, and it seeks out information that validates your beliefs. So whatever you believe in, you'll see more of, and whatever you surround yourself in, you'll see more of. So that's why I say your environment and your circle is very important in keeping your mood and your vibration high. It's why, so the reticular activating system is why in a crowd full of people chatting, lots of people in the room, everything's quite loud, you can hear someone say your name and your ears prick up and you look over. Even if it wasn't your name, it sounded like your name, your brain can pick that up. And it's why when you buy a new car, then you start seeing that new car everywhere. So it's like you're attracting these things in because of your awareness. So have a think about what your awareness entails, and what you're looking at online, and the types of people and activities you're surrounding yourself with, which may not be a lot for anyone who's locked down. I understand that, but you can look at a lot of things online when you're locked down. So what are you looking at? What are you listening to? What are the podcasts saying? Sorry, it's a bit hard to get a break on a webinar when you're the only one speaking to have a drink. And so with the RAS, it's to alter the RAS in your brain, you need to marry your subconscious thoughts with your conscious thoughts. So your subconscious mind is acting quietly without your conscious thought every single day, and most active overnight. So having a little sort of mantra that you say before you go to bed is going to program what happens when you're asleep, and that can have a big impact on your life. So what book are you reading at the moment? What show are you watching at the moment? Just before you go to bed, that might be an interesting way to look at your environment, your surroundings, because your environment is what you're listening to and what you're watching as well. So I did speak about The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, which is a book by Dr. Joseph Murphy. I will put the link in the chat in a minute. So The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Okay, what do you need to stop eating to amplify your mood? These are foods and drinks that I've spoken about before, but I will keep speaking about it. All of the pictures there on the left, you've got a whole heap of crap. What I call that is dead food. It's not alive. So if you're eating dead food, you're going to likely feel much less alive. The vitality in this food, the energy in this food is dead. There's no nutrients in it unless it's been fortified with nutrients. I mean, you've got some lettuce and tomato on that Big Mac bun there, but you know. And then you've got so many processed foods that they're food-like products. They're not actually food. So where's the real food? What are you eating? The sugar is an energy sucker, and it will drain you of energy for as long as you live if you keep it in your diet. So very hard to just switch off. I completely understand that. But at the moment, your job is to teach yourself how to. How can I? What ability do I have to reduce sugar and put real food in? It's something that if you work with me, I'll be telling you that for the rest of my days. So things like the processed foods like deli meats, biscuits, chips, cereal, muesli bars, crisp bread, pasta, chocolate, soft drinks, margarines, spreads, and takeaways. So one thing that I do harp on when I do talks is saladas. You know, saladas are a normal average food that we all know is, you know, people think that that's quite healthy to have a little salada with some tomato and cheese and maybe some lettuce on it for lunch. But saladas have got absolutely nothing in them. What are they made out of? What are the ingredients lists on that? There's not actually any real food in there. There was some refined wheat once upon a time, or wheat in there once upon a time, but it's far from wheat now, and it has absolutely no nutrients in it. So it's taking away, not giving to you. Coffee, tea, and alcohol. So look, there's a lot of people who drink coffee and will find it very, very hard to eliminate, but why not give it a go? What have you got to lose? And I'm not just going to stand here and go, I haven't drank coffee for 2 years. I drank a lot of coffee in my time, and I decided to just experiment and see what would happen if I didn't have coffee. And I used to make the most amazing coffees. So I stopped, and I found a drastic improvement in my quality of sleep. I could fall asleep a lot easier, and my anxiety levels decreased a lot as well. So the way that my body operated changed fairly significantly. People who are prone to depression are more sensitive to stimulants like caffeine. So if you are drinking coffee and you have been prone to depression or anxiety, I would seriously think about eliminating it. And if you want to talk to me further about what you need to do to support your body around that, then absolutely please do. Tea has still got caffeine, not as much as coffee, but if you're drinking 6 cups of tea a day, you're going to feel dehydrated, which saps you of energy. And also tea, the tannins in tea can obstruct the absorption of iron. So if your iron is low and you drink heaps of tea, then consider taking it out. Alcohol is, it's something that we all have drank throughout our lives. Some haven't, but I would suggest just reducing it for the next little while to see what happens. It will dehydrate you as well. If you've got intolerances or allergies that you know of, then take them out. So there's intolerances that you have. So every time you have a milkshake, you go to the toilet and you've got diarrhea. Every time you have gluten, you get really bloated and your stools aren't great. Oh God, sorry. Herbal tea, yes, herbal tea is completely fine as long as it doesn't have any caffeine in it. So no black tea in there. Excellent, Mark and Michelle. I've just seen your comment. So have a look at the intolerances that you probably have that you're just sweeping under the carpet and haven't really honestly addressed yet, because I guarantee there's some there. Not every food is made equal for everybody, so you've got to work out what your intolerances are. Even if they're mild, they're still going to have an impact on your body. Okay, what do you need to start eating to amplify your mood? So what do you need to start eating now? Let's have a look at what things need to become part of your lifestyle. Obviously, real, whole, fresh and alive produce, kind of like the stuff behind me and also on the screen there as well. So if you've got fresh farmers markets in your area, get there. That's where you've got to do your shopping. There's going to be a couple of grocery items that you need to get from the shops, maybe some brown rice, maybe some quinoa, maybe some rice milk, almond milk, oat milk, maybe some yogurt, although there is yogurt at the markets. So find your markets, know when they are, go there every single week. It needs to be fresh. The supermarkets do not sell fresh produce, and the herbicides and pesticides on our produce are killing us. They're having a massive impact on our bodies. I've got studies for that as well. So mostly your markets will have a mix of organic produce, chemical-free produce, and then conventional produce. I would go the chemical-free first if you're worried about finances, or go organic if you can afford it. There is a Dirty Dozen and a Clean 15 list, which is a list of foods that the Dirty Dozen, you should definitely buy organic because they're the most sprayed. The Clean 15, you can get away with getting chemical-free or conventional because they're the least susceptible to bugs, so they get sprayed the least. I would love you to introduce some whole proteins and fats, so they're not broken down or refined. So when I say whole proteins, I'm talking about whole cuts of meat, chicken, eggs, fish, not processed in any way, not sausages, not even really mince. So I don't eat mince anymore. Chorizo, salami, any of that stuff, get rid of for now. So fats and proteins would be meat, fish, eggs, nuts, seeds, legumes, lentils, good quality oils. So we're talking about hemp oil, coconut oil, olive oil, chia oil, flaxseed oil. They need to be a part because they've all got different nutrient profiles and they all give you something different. Running a bit late. Organic dairy, quinoa, brown rice, avocado and vegetables. Fresh fruit and fresh vegetables every single day. I've touched on this. I want you to get regular meals and snacks through the day as well. So breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner. If you feel like you're going to be too full, reduce the portion sizes of everything and make sure that you're getting those snacks in so that you don't drop into a low blood sugar level through the day. It has a massive impact. If you ate for a week, breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, you would feel the difference as long as it's all real food. And then specific foods for serotonin production. So that'll be the proteins that we spoke about last week, but I will send you through the recordings and the presentations from the last two. Take action with your food right now. It's time. It is time to do it. There's no, this year is going to end really quickly, and we want to work out what works for you and how to get there, how to finish this year off in a positive way, because I can understand why it's been possibly negative for you leading up to this point, but we have the ability to thrive in this year. I'm going to give you some recipes. So I've got some breakfast muffins here, which is eggs and vegetables and salt and pepper. You're just going to mix that up and put it in your muffin tray and put it in the oven. I'm also going to send you a macadamia pesto, which has got some beautiful pine nuts and macadamia nuts, as well as lots of nice greens. The mixed herbs there, you can use whatever fresh herbs you like. You can use basil, you can use parsley, dill, all together. Just put them all together in. That's what I do. It gives it a nice flavour profile. And the macadamias and pine nuts make it nice and creamy. Okay, so let's have a look at these tasks. Exercise is super important. You need to get moving. It's time to get moving. Spring has got that renewing energy, and so it's time to get out there. Reduce sugar and refined and processed foods. Simple as that. Increase your protein and fat in your meals and snacks. So try eating 5 meals or snacks per day. Make sure with 5 meals and snacks per day, you're going to need to be super prepared and organized. Make sure you are well hydrated every day. We've spoken about that. Surround yourself with positivity. So the people that you're interacting with or the podcasts and things that you're listening to, find the positive ones. I have started volunteering this year. So it's with an organisation called Serving Our People, which are only very new. They were born out of COVID, started on the Gold Coast for people who can't leave their homes, were sick and can't leave their homes to go and get what they need. So the person will purchase something from a shop. We will drive there, pick it up and take it to them, all in masks and things like that to be safe. And so anything that anyone needs, mums who can't leave the house will take nappies to them, groceries to the old people, anything that anyone needs, they can ring up and order it and we'll take it. And look, being a part of that organisation, and I'm actually on the management team now, so just surrounding myself and the opportunities that have come from that group of people has been nothing short of amazing for me. It's completely changed my life. And so surrounding myself with those positive, amazing, beautiful, loving people, caring people has just done so much for me, and I'm so grateful for it. I want you to have a go at training your subconscious mind. That book is really, really good. I've also got a little quote that I want you to have a look at on the next slide. Getting enough deep sleep each night is imperative. Have a look at the previous webinar for sleep if you don't understand that fully. Start taking action. It's really important to start taking action. You have the knowledge. You now have the knowledge. It's time to start taking action. And when you start to achieve things, you will feel better. Involve yourself in something meaningful. Like I said, with the volunteer work, even just helping people in normal life. When you go to the supermarket, you see someone who needs some help, go and help them. Because when you do help someone, oxytocin is released in your body, which is a feel-good hormone. Even when you see someone helping someone else, that releases oxytocin in your body. So surround yourself in that environment. You can also supplement with these very specific nutrients for depression, anxiety, and mental health issues. So I want you guys to just take a screenshot of that or write it down, or you'll have the recording of this when I send it through. But this is a little mantra that you can write down and say to yourself or say out loud every single night before you go to bed. This will have an impact on your subconscious programming. So, and also it's a nice one for after the 3 webinars that you've been listening to. So I give thanks for the transformation and healing that has taken place. I move through life with gratitude. I move through life with certainty. I move through life with confidence. I achieve my goals. What I focus on, I create. And that's by Alana Fairchild.